Hello friend, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and today I'd like to talk a little about retroactive jealousy and embarrassment and tell you a brief story. So before I get into my story, I'll just mention that a lot of people who struggle with retroactive jealousy, i.e., unease, anxiety, and unwanted thoughts around a partner's past relationships and or sexual history, people who struggle with this, most of the time, I'd probably say like 9 times out of 10, suffer in silence. They don't seek the help they need. They don't talk to people about it. Instead they look to answers in dodgy internet forums at 3 a.m. and that kind of thing. They never really get the help they need because they're just not wanting to talk about it at all. They are embarrassed about their situation and they kind of just hope this problem will sort itself out on its own, which unfortunately it usually does not. So people are embarrassed and I completely understand why. But people, I get messages from people on Facebook or Instagram sometimes and they say like, I want to follow you, I love your work, it's really great, but I don't want anyone to know that I'm following you because I'm linked to retroactive jealousy, and I think they think that if their Facebook friend sees they like my page, then they'll know that, hey, they like that retroactive jealousy guy, like what the hell, all this kind of thing. And I try not to take offense to these people because I understand where they're coming from, because I used to be the same way. So when I published my guidebook, Overcoming Retroactive Jealousy, back in 2013, as I've written about on the blog and as I said at the time, I published it under a pen name because I didn't want anyone to know that this was me, that I was the retroactive jealousy guy, that I struggled with this issue that put me through such hell for so long. I was embarrassed. And then about, I think it was maybe 6 to 8 months after I published the book, I was eventually persuaded for various reasons to put my real name on the cover, put my real face on my website, start making YouTube videos and all this. And the main reason I did it, as I've talked about in the blog before, is just I felt like this issue needs a face, it needs a name. It needs someone other than really faceless, shady internet marketers. Someone needs to come out and talk about this because it's important, and I know thousands and thousands and thousands of people are suffering, and I know that I have something really valuable to offer these people. This is also why I agreed to do the big BBC interview I did back in 2018, where retroactive jealousy was on the front page of BBC News, and my website proceeded to blow up for about 24 hours. And I think the main reason that happened is there was this amazing sense of relief among people to say, oh my God, someone's actually talking about this. I've suffered from this for years, and this guy on BBC is actually, he can relate to what I'm going through and what I've been through in the past. But before that, years and years ago, right after I decided to sort of come out as the retroactive jealousy guy and put my real name out there and put my real face and put my real name on my book, I was still a bit, maybe anxious is the wrong word, but I still had some trepidations about it. And a big thing I thought about was, oh my God, every woman I date for the rest of my life is going to Google my name, find all this stuff, and she'll know that I'm the retroactive jealousy guy. Like, this is probably not going to be great for Zach's dating life. I was single at the time, and I was thinking about this, obviously. So I still had some of this embarrassment going on. And I remember I went out to lunch with a woman who I had dated in the past. So we'd been together in the past, but now we were just kind of friends and just hanging out, talking about our lives. And so I told her the whole story about the retroactive jealousy and, I'm putting my name out there and everyone's going to know and this is blah, 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 blah. What's this going to do to my dating life? And she looked at me without missing a beat. She said, Zach, the book is called Overcoming Retroactive Jealousy. And immediately I understood. I got it. The fact that I struggled with retroactive jealousy once upon a time, that's not embarrassing. And what's more, the fact that I've actually put in the work to overcome it, and the fact that I've really owned that, is the opposite of embarrassing. That's something to be commended. At the risk of sounding self-serving and like I'm trying to puff myself up, that's something to be proud of, I think. And my friend realized that. And by the way, since then, every single other person in my life, including women I've dated, has said the same thing. They've all thought my work is cool. They've all thought, wow, that's actually really interesting and kind of impressive and blah, 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 blah. It's been either like impressive or a non-issue that I once struggled with retroactive jealousy and I put in the work to overcome it. People are, interested in your story and your journey and your evolution. And the fact that you can own a problem that you have and then put in the work to overcome it, that's something to be commended, I think. That's something to be proud of. What would genuinely be embarrassing is if I wrote a book called Struggling with Retroactive Jealousy and Doing Nothing About It, or Living with Retroactive Jealousy, or Blaming Retroactive Jealousy on My Girlfriend. That would be embarrassing. But confronting a problem you have and owning it and putting in the work to overcome it, that's something that you can really stand tall and own and say, I did this. I'm not some weird exception to this phenomenon, and there's a hell of a lot of people out there being very brave, putting their names and faces on this issue, and really owning their growth. And even if people aren't public about it, I get lots of emails from people, they say, please don't share this email, don't share my name. And that's totally cool, I completely understand. But even those people, they have something to be proud of because they're owning their issue, they're taking action. They're not letting themselves be defined as a victim. They're owning their choices, they're owning their direction in life, they're moving forward. And I think that's really cool. I think that's something to be proud of. I don't think retroactive jealousy is embarrassing on its face, but for anyone watching this who's taking any action whatsoever toward owning their problem, owning their choices, and deciding to take the steps to move forward, I don't think you have anything to be embarrassed about. I think you have a lot to be proud of, and I salute you. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this. If you got anything out of this, please be sure to click the like button below. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you again very soon.